Hello, everybody. Um, Today I want to talk about. I hate showing this stuff here, but I'm going to show it today. I'm going to talk about this comment right here from James Schmista. Um, we're going to dive directly into it. First thing that I'm going to tell you, James, and I'm going to reply to your stuff is I do have a Discord channel. Um, right here is Setter's Raid. And if for me to invite people, let's see, I'll put it in the chat so I can invite you guys if I even know how to do it. But I do have a Setter's Raid. I do have a Setter's Raid Discord. So I'm going to be asking you some direct questions, so we can help get you to get your wixwell team working. But before we do that, we need to get you out here to the Setter's Raid. Invite people, and we're going to copy the link, and we're going to put it out here for you guys. For you, as I said, I'm going to reply, put it out here for you. Okay, so I just replied, and we are good on. Not good on that. That's going to be a starting point for us. We're not good. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about the wixwell team, a little bit more in depth. I kind of ran through it, but we need to discuss this a little bit more. So first, let's collect our rewards for being good people. Look at that. Nothing. And of course, again, nothing. Come on, give me something. That's okay. Nothing great. Okay. So, the first thing that we need to make sure that we understand is I believe that every single one of my guys, their speed is at least 220. And we're going to find that out for sure in just 10 seconds because I'm going to got to run my wixwell team here real quick. I think that the most important thing to know is how to set it up. So if we go into the team setup and we look at our wixwell Infinity team, the first thing that I want to tell you is one of these guys, doesn't matter who, one of these guys needs the shield set. Okay. I believe my shield set it's either Demitha or Wixwell himself. Okay, so let's go to our champions and let's pull this up. So we're going to pull up. I'm going to start with Demitha because I think, no, it can't be Demitha. It has to be Wixwell. We'll bring up Wixwell and see what it says. I'm pretty sure he's the one who has the shield set. Yeah, here's the shield set. And you know that shields provide HP, all allies with HP shields, okay? Now, that is the starting point. Now, I read that you said you had good heroes, but bad equipment. I can believe that. and I understand that. And I've been in the same place. So, what else do we need? If you notice, I have 248 or 242 on the speed, and I have essentially 70,000 on my HP. The reason I have that much, because I went out of my way to get his HP as high as possible, because one of his moves is based on is proportional to this champion's defense. So I went out of my way to get as much defense as I could also. But that's not the one I was looking at. It was this one here. It has a chance of placing decreased attack, which is blah. Then increases the value of all shields on all allies. The value of each of the shields is increased proportional to the total number of buffs, which had their durations increased. Meaning you want to have as many buffs out there as possible. Okay? So when you're selecting your heroes, you need your heroes that put out as many buffs as possible. Hence, I get criticized for this all the time, but she's the one that makes it work, is Demitha. Demitha here, she puts out she puts out a shield, and she puts out multiple continuous heals. So she does a great job. And then the other thing, in the beginning, only the beginning, she puts out the block damage, which also helps your shields to not go down. When we're running through this, we are not using our shields. We're using the shield from Wixwell. Okay? We're using the Wixwell shield, and that's it. And when I say the shield, this shield. Why? Because his A3 puts out a shield. Okay? Could I skip this and skip some of the other things? Yes, I could. But my shield, the only shield I keep on my guys, is the shield from this. And it's a small shield. So I need to, when I create my characters, have as high a HP as possible to make that shield as big as possible, because the shield, as you can see here, is just a 30% shield, 30% of their HP shield. So we need to be able to survive a few rounds. Okay? Gotta survive a few rounds with the HP shields in order to get there. Now, the second thing, I have seen 100 Wixwell teams where they only run 3 increase. So this one here increases the value of all shields. But it also has a chance of extending durations. It increases the durations of buffs on allies. Okay, so this is 1 buff extender. I've seen people have 3 buff extenders and 2 damage dealers and make it work. I have not been able to do that. Okay, so I have Emic Trunkheart. And once again, you'll notice Emic Trunkheart, 220. We're over 220. Wixwell is my fastest guy right now, or one of my fastest guys. I want him to go first to extend that shield and make that shield buff higher so I don't lose it. Emic, his A2 does shield extend, or not shield extend. It places a shield, which we don't care about, but it decreases the cooldown of ally skills. This is the opposite of buff extender. It makes it so that all my guys, my wixwell, all my other guys, all their stuff goes quicker. So this is not buff reduction or buff extension, but it is in a way because it allows the buff extenders to go more rapidly. So when you set up your team, you also got to remember that. So I also have to say, hey, the A2 is the most important move that wixwell does. We got to make sure we prioritize his A2. Same with her A2. So we got to make sure that we set up our team that this is priority 1. We also want this one to go off just to protect ourselves. Once again, it's not going to protect us for very long, but we need it to protect us. And this might be my fastest guy now that I think about it, because I had it, 254. She's my fastest. Am I using 1 or 2? Yeah, it's 1 or 2 that I'm using. And I got her up at 60,000. I know these are high numbers. And I get it, and it's not easy to get there. The next number that we're going to look at is our next guy that we're going to look at is Grisor. People are, why you put Grisor out there? Once again, 230. We're all right in that 220, 230, 240 area. I try to keep everybody above 220. Why Grisor? Attacks all enemies. This champion heals 10% damage dealt, which I don't care about, but increases the duration of all buffs. It's on a 3-turn cooldown with wonderful Emic. That's a 2-turn cooldown now. So Grisor is going to be going more often with this. He's going to just be switching between these two back and forth. That's what we want. We need to have as much buff extension as possible on our guys. So now I've covered 1, 2, 3 plus him 4. I've got 4 of my 5 guys, and my last guy, as everybody knows, is the damage dealer, which is Geo. And I don't have Geo very fast. Well, actually, I have him extremely fast. I thought I had him slower than this. I have him at 270, 264. So he's my fastest guy. He's getting that stuff out and hitting as often as possible. I don't think you have to be this fast. I really don't think you have to be this fast. The crit damage is good because it's going to add to your damage. But the most important thing is your accuracy. Okay? So get your accuracy above, I like 350, but above 300. That's the main thing. And this is above 220. Speed above 220. This one here, I have my HP as high as I could possibly crank it. Right now it's at 35, 45, 50. I think 50 might be a minimum of what you need to have his HP at. Okay? So once again, I think I'm going to spend some money or some gems just to show you guys the importance of this. So when we start, now I want you to watch. We went through all the guys, what they do, and the importance of everything. So if you notice the little 4 shield here, not the 2 shield, the 4 shield, this is the one that's going to grow. This one's going to be replaced every turn, or not every turn, but every once in a while. And this is the shield that we got to keep an eye on. So see, now we're up to 4. 3, 4. And it goes off. And we're going to get everybody to go again. We're up to 5. But you notice that this shield isn't growing. It keeps getting replaced. There, it got replaced again, so it's down to 2. It's that little 4 shield. It's the small shield. And here's a hint. The big shield is going to go away first than the small shield. So, or I shouldn't say that. I should say they're added together. So, we got to make sure that those shields don't go away. And so if you're watching your guys and you said in your little note, your ask for help, that your shields go away on Geo, what you got to pay attention to is the number here, the number that's going away. If I were to actually create a guide for this, I would say that Geo needs to be your slowest character on your team. You know, he needs to be right around 220 to 225. The rest of the guys need to be greater than 225 because you want him going after everybody else so he gets all the shields built up. In my case, he's the fastest, but that's because I have so many shield builders. But if you can see here, you can see my shields are growing. My shields are growing. My shields are growing. This is the most important part of this team. And then if you also notice, I have the unblock or you can't, no damage from her out here, and that screws up my team. I'm not allowed, I can't do any damage to him when that's out there. So you see, I got it out there on everybody. And if he were to hit me right now, I wouldn't reflect any damage back. There, I did some damage back because he had the block damage, but no one else did. But it also helps his shield stay bigger. So my point on this is block damage is a wonderful move early game. Remember, we're going 5,000 turns, whatever it is. We're doing our best to keep the boss count. Once it hits 50, that this block damage doesn't work anymore. So it reduces the amount of damage I do by a little bit, but when I take it away, I lose my shields. But as you can see here, every single guy except for Geo either does a buff extension or reduces the amount of time it takes. I like Emic and reducing the time because that increases the other 3 guys going more often, which then gives me more shields. Okay? So I'm talking directly to you. I'm talking directly for you. That you wanted some help, we're going to do that. I gave you my Discord in chat. Reach out to me. Let me know what champions you have, what speed they're at, and what HP they're at. The next thing that I will talk to you about, and it's super important, is there is a website, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. Deadwood Jedi. So I'm going to start by going to Google so I can bring up Deadwood Jedi. Deadwood Jedi has a wonderful first off speed tunes, so you can look up any guy that you want to look up, any team that you want to look up. He has full auto teams. He has speed teams. I like the 3-to-1 speed teams. They're hard to tune and get done right, but if you do it right, but he has a calculator, and the clan boss calculator is just way too valuable to not use. It's going to show you how your guys are going and how the things are going to stack up, and if you're going to burn off your shields or not. And you can then adjust your A1, A2, A3 and prioritize them to make sure that they go right. So, number 1, we prioritize his A2, we prioritize her A2, and we prioritize his A2 to be number 1. Why? Because we want the ones that extend the shields to be the highest priority. Number 2, we put as much HP on each one of these guys as possible. Why? So that the shield lasts through the first couple rounds. Once you get rolling, wixwell's shield growth is outrageous. I mean, you can see right now, I'm safe. I can leave this, run in the background, and we're safe. And once again, you can see that the big shield here, I'm actually at the point where I'm doing stuff, but I'm going to bring it back down to 2 real soon because his shield goes off here soon. And that reduces the count down to 2. But the main thing that we're growing for shields is that little one that we put out on Wixwell with the shield set. So you need a shield set. Let me repeat that again. You need a shield set. You need one shield set, no matter what. You need a shield set. Number 2, you need, if you see how many buffs I have out here now, I mean, I've got 4 heals on these guys. The heals aren't doing anything. But when Wixwell goes off, Wixwell allows all of them to be extended. And when they're all extended, it makes his shield growth even more powerful. So we need to, A, take into account those things, and B, we need to get up to like the 15th or 16th round without dying and keeping our shields in place. So I will be very happy to get on Discord with you and discuss what's going on. But I wanted to start with, this is a direct call out. Somebody asked a question. They were very specific in their question. They're having problems with the Wixwell team. They believe it's their equipment. So let's see if it's the equipment or let's see if it's the setup. I'll start it out. We'll get going and we'll see where we sit. Thank you very much for reaching out, and I'll talk to you guys later.